Just ahead on CTV News, a scorching house fire in Laurel calls for multiple county crews and leaves several people displaced. Plus, President Biden pardons thousands of former veterans that were convicted under a now repealed military ban.
We are in Rockville at Pepco's summer readiness demonstration. I'm Bryce Parker. We're here to share some safety tips about how to prepare for summer storms coming up on CTV News.
Those stories and more, CTV News starts now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for June 26th. I'm Katara Jones.
And I'm Byron Scott. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, 7 people are displaced after a fire rips through a Laurel townhouse. It happened just before 6:30 last night on the 14,300 block of Bonnet Lane. Investigators say it started on the outside deck and that a number of people and pets had to be rescued. One person was treated at the scene for minor injuries. The cause of the fire not yet determined.
Well, a victory for the Biden administration. The Supreme Court sides with the administration in a dispute with Republican-led states over how far the federal government can go to combat controversial social media posts on topics like COVID-19 and election security. In a 6-3 vote, the court tossed out a lower court's ruling that favored Louisiana, Missouri, and other parties that claim the Biden administration attempted to squash conservative points of view. The states argued that the administration applied unrelenting pressure to coerce changes in online content on social media platforms. The court ruled that the plaintiffs did not have the legal right to sue. Alito, Gorsuch, and Thomas dissented.
And saying he's righting a historical wrong, President Joe Biden today pardoned potentially thousands of former U.S. service members who have been convicted of a now repealed ban on consensual sex. The pardon clears the way for them to regain lost benefits. The president's action impacts those who are convicted under a uniform military code that criminalized sodomy. Those covered by the pardon will be able to receive the proof that their conviction has been erased and move to recover lost pay and benefits. Biden's action comes during Pride Month and just days before he's set to hold a high-profile fundraiser with LGBTQ donors in New York on Friday.
President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump will verbally spar in their first matchup ahead of the 2024 presidential election. The presidential debate is scheduled for Thursday night and is just more than 4 months from Election Day. This debate is much earlier than the campaign than they normally take place in, and the candidates have agreed to some additional rules. There will be no live audience, and both candidates' microphones will be muted unless it is their time to speak. Now, the latest polls show Biden and Trump are nearly tied.
And the date for the special election has been set for the seat vacated by at-large member Mel Franklin on County Council. The special primary election is set for Tuesday, August 6th, with the special general election taking place on November 5th. Franklin resigned earlier this month after he was charged with felony theft, embezzlement, and perjury. Residents interested in filling Franklin's seat must file a certificate of candidacy with the Board of Elections by Friday, July 5th.
Pepco's summer readiness demonstration showcased the company's preparedness for any electrical issues thrown their way, as well as safety tips for customers to remember. CTV's Bryce Parker has the story.
It's difficult, but I'm here to help my family and also here to make sure that people have power and they're safe.
Workers at Pepco are gearing up for the challenges that summer months present.
Sometimes it can get up to 100+ degrees.
And the safety equipment required for the job does not make it any easier.
It does make it a little tough when we're in rubber gloves and sleeves. It's almost like you're insulated.
But despite the challenges, Pepco is using their summer readiness demonstration to show they are ready for any electrical issues ahead.
Events like today are critically important to us just to make the public aware of what we're dealing with in the summer in extreme heat scenarios, or really any scenario, and also to give them tips and things that they can do to stay safe if they're experiencing an outage or anything like that. So we just want to share what our crews are doing, the difficulties they face, and again, how our customers can prepare.
Down wires, faulty outlets, any electrical scenario, big or small.
Still give Pepco a call. It's better to be safe than sorry. sorry.
The demonstration not only showcased how Pepco keeps its customers safe, but its employees as well.
They provide us with electrolyte packets and stuff like that, so we, can make sure that we're good, we're hydrated, we're focused, ready to help the community, of course.
Rain or shine, Christmas to 4th of July, Pepco will be ready.
Every day, weekends, holidays, we have coverage 24/7, so there's someone always here. Just give us a call and we'll handle it.
As we continue through the summer months, make sure that your whole entire family is up to date with whatever your emergency action plan is for outages. If you see a down wire, stay away. Always assume that it's live. Make sure that you have an emergency kit packed with Band-Aids, batteries, lights, and also sign up for emergency alerts with Pepco. From Rockville, I'm Bryce Parker, CTV News.
Thank you, Bryce, for that report. In 2023, Pepco recorded the lowest number of outages in company history. And keep your bottled water handy as the Washington metro region is hit with hot and humid conditions again. The National Weather Service says beginning today and into the afternoon, temperatures are expected to get into the mid to upper 90s. However, the peak heat index could reach up to 100 to 105 degrees. Scattered thunderstorms are also expected this evening, including a chance of damaging wind and hail. The extreme heat and showers are expected to continue through the weekend.
And for many families, the summertime means it's time to hit the road for vacation, but is your car ready for the trip ahead? AAA recommends that drivers check the engine oil before hitting the roads. To do this, mechanics say pull out the dipstick to check the oil.
And you can also make sure you want to look at those lights that are illuminating on your dashboard. Don't forget to look at those too.
Especially with older vehicles, you want to have the battery looked at prematurely before you do that road trip. Especially if you're driving in warmer conditions. The battery clamps and the battery terminals, they get old, they're metal, they can get corroded, and with that, you want to take care of them. We clean the terminals off to make sure the battery is properly charging up and you're not somewhere stranded on the road with loose terminals.
Now, this goes without saying, but before hitting the roads, make sure you check your tires and tire pressure. Great advice, right, Byron? Absolutely. And you're watching CTV News, still to come.
The 4th of July is next week. Find out how you can stay safe and avoid accidents while celebrating.
Fireworks are illegal in Prince George's County, but if you were still thinking of putting on a display of your own, you could lose a finger, a limb, or even your life. I'm Mariah Jalad. I've got the story coming up on CTV News.
Everyone likes rooting for their favorite team with some friends. But if you plan on drinking, don't drive. Designate a sober driver or schedule a ride share for a safe ride home. Be the make a plan driver. Be the driver who saves lives.
Welcome back. Laurel police need your help in locating a missing teen. This is 15-year-old Karma Francesco. She was last seen at a friend's house in Laurel, Howard County last Saturday. Investigators say she is known to frequent Baltimore City. Francesco is 5 feet 5 inches tall, has black hair and weighs 140 pounds. She was last seen wearing a one-piece black bodysuit. Anyone with information is asked to contact Laurel Police 301-498-0092.
A new report from the Governor's Highway Safety Association showed nationwide there were more than 5% decline in fatal crashes in 2023 compared to 2022. However, here in Maryland, those numbers increased. Statewide, there were 161 crashes that left a pedestrian dead last year, 24 more than year before. Even though Maryland is a much smaller state, 28 more pedestrians died on its roads last year compared to our neighboring state of Virginia.
And a small earthquake shook parts of Montgomery County Monday night. The U.S. Geological Survey said the 1.8 magnitude quake was centered in Spencerville. No damages from the earthquake have been reported.
In order to expand the county's curbside waste collection services, those who live in Prince George's may soon notice a change in trash pickup schedule starting July 1st. Residents will also now be able to place 4 standard bulky trash items outside with their trash. You can confirm your collection date with the county's online lookup portal. Also, starting July 1st, the county will be offering curbside electronic recycling and scrap metal collection. That service will be available every 3rd Monday of the month, and appointments can be made online or by contacting PGC 311.
And Independence Day is right around the corner, and you might be making plans to celebrate at an event or at home.
Remember to make plans for safety as well. Mariah Jalad has more.
When you think of the 4th of July, you think about celebrating independence, barbecuing, and fireworks. But when it comes to those displays of light, which are illegal in many parts of the state, the fire department wants to remind you just how dangerous they can be. This is what just 1/8 a stick of dynamite can do to a core organ, limb, or even your head. The explosives are illegal in Maryland, but many overlook that, thinking they're in for some harmless fun. Even sparklers, which are legal in some parts of the state, can be deadly, setting clothes aflame in just a few seconds.
After about a minute and a half, the shirt will be consumed and all the burns to the body will have been experienced, and you can't take that back. So, in 2023, the Consumer Product Safety Commission reported 8 deaths and an estimated 9,700 injuries involving fireworks. Tragically, 2 of those deaths were here in Maryland. Both of these were directly attributed to the mishandling of fireworks. Despite safety guidelines and regulations, accidents occur far too frequently. Burns, lacerations, and eye injuries are all too common among those handling or even just observing unpermitted firework displays.
Those most at risk are children who might not understand the full risk of explosives if they're not protected by an adult.
As an ER nurse, one of the most devastating things for me to hear when a parent brings the child in or is brought in is, wow, I turned away for a second, 2 seconds. So the guilt that's there, and that you'll never be able to take that back. That is such a devastating response from parents. It only takes seconds, and it changes their lives forever.
And the #1 takeaway is, if you want to enjoy some fireworks, leave it up to the professionals. From Howard County, Mariah Jalad, CTV News.
For more information about fireworks safety and to find out what's legal in your area, you can visit the website on your screen. And calling all shopaholics, Amazon has announced the dates for Prime Day, which is set for July 16th and July 17th. Amazon Prime Day is a sale event exclusively for Prime members in the summer. It features 2 days of special savings on thousands of items across all product categories.
Recently, Amazon has held similar sale events for Prime customers only. This past March, the online retailer had its first ever Big Spring Sale, and last October, the company held an Amazon Prime Big Deal Days event ahead of the holiday season. Well, the best way to take advantage of Prime Days is to have an Amazon Prime membership. Do you have one?
I do, actually, so I'm looking forward to buying some makeup.
All right. Back just a bit with Pet of the Week.
We'll be back again with Pet of a Week, our furry friend, when we come back. Stay tuned.
Might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. You may not even know you have it, but you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand. With early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Welcome back. The state's largest school district officially has a new leader. The Board of Education for the Montgomery County Public School System voted unanimously to make Dr. Thomas Taylor the new superintendent. Taylor spent the past 6 years as the leader of the Stafford County School District. He was also named the 2024 Virginia Region 3 Superintendent of the Year. Taylor has more than 2 decades of educational experience.
The Department of Housing and Urban Development is awarding $85 million in grant funding for the Pathways to Removing Obstacles to Housing program. Of that $85 million, the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments will get more than $3.5 million. Pro-Housing aims to remove barriers to affordable housing production and preservation and lower housing costs.
There is a real focus on making sure that this housing is developed in areas for people who need affordable housing, and in areas where in the past they may not have had that opportunity because of these unnecessary regulatory barriers or burdens. And so we do see this as being an opportunity for those jurisdictions that have received these awards to begin to redress those types of problems. But the Biden-Harris administration is here to partner with you to overcome your local barriers to affordable housing development. And this funding is going to be a wonderful opportunity for them to do that. And it's a part of the collaboration that the federal government and local and state governments have had over the term of this administration to make sure that we are doing that with every dime possible.
A new survey shows that American consumers lost confidence in June. The Conference Board, which is a business research group, says that the Consumer Confidence Index fell to 100.4 in June. During the month of May, the index was 101.3. The index measures Americans' assessment on the current economic conditions and their outlook on the next 6 months. Reports indicate that Americans' short-term expectations for income, businesses, and the job market fell to 73 in May.
And Katira, it's out with fabric and in with vinyl on Metro's fleet of buses. The transit agency says it's transitioning from fabric seating to vinyl seating after hearing from customers who have long asked for seats that don't absorb spills, stains, and odors. This is what the new seating looks like with vinyl. For its part, Metro says one of the advantages over cloth is vinyl's lower cost, plus it's easier to clean. Metro conducted a pilot program and says customers reacted well to the new material. The agency is expecting its fleet to be all vinyl by 2025. And it's Wednesday. You know what that means. It's time for our Pet of the Week. Meet Parker. He's a 2-month-old black domestic short-haired kitten. He's been at the shelter since May. Animal management says Parker would be a perfect addition to any home.
So Parker would love to be in a loving home, very active, very playful. He does have other siblings here as well that are up for foster as well as up for adoption. So you can come down. You are able to adopt 2 kittens at a time. So if you wanted to come and get one of these, then please by all means come down and enjoy to see us.
Well, because of his age, Parker is only available to foster at the moment, but if you decide to foster him, you'll be able to fully adopt him when he becomes of age. If you would like to foster Parker or any other animal, call 301-780-7200.
And just ahead on CTV News.
The 2024 NBA Draft is tonight.
And Maryland women is making their way to the Olympics.
Those stories and more after the break. Stay tuned.
That first time seeing my son, I feel like my life did a 180. Being present is the most important part. To be the better mirror for my son. Bro, he brings the vibes, you know what I'm saying? He brings the party no matter what. He really a definition of like why he loves somebody. And I love him to the death of me.
And another athlete from Maryland is heading to the Olympics. 20-year-old Juliet Whitaker of Laurel, placing third in the 800-meter final at the U.S. Olympic track trials on Monday. Whitaker has a chance to become the U.S.'s newest Olympic gold medalist in the women's 800-meter race as round one of the Olympics starts on August 2nd.
The Bowie Bay Sox suffered their 6th straight loss as they lose to the Fightin' Phils. They got off to a slow start as they didn't score until the 6th inning where Samuel Basilio hit a solo homer. That momentum carried over into the 7th inning. Ryan Higgins hit a 2-home runner to close the gap, trailing 3-5. The Fightin' Phils put the game out of reach in the 7th and 8th inning, winning the game 8-4. Bowie continues their 6-game series against the Fightin' Phils tonight at 7. And the NBA draft begins tonight, and the Washington Wizards have the 2nd overall pick. Last time Washington drafted 2nd overall, they drafted Hall of Famer Wes Unseld, who eventually led the team to their first and only championship.
And they're looking to do it all over again as they are in position to land one of the most talented prospects in the draft, the 7'1" phenom, Alex Starr.
And let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast tonight. Showers and thunderstorms are expected to start later tonight and last through the morning. Tomorrow, we are looking at a high of 89, but those showers are sticking around through the morning.
Friday will be nice and sunny with a high of 86 and a low of 72, but there is a chance of showers at night. Saturday, looking at another 90-degree day, but keep those raincoats, I should say, and boots handy because showers and thunderstorms and boats are expected.
Let's get a look at our community calendar. This Friday, the Wave Show with the Science Guys of Baltimore will be at the Public Playhouse. The interactive show is for kids ages 5 to 12, explores how light and sound moves in waves.
There'll be 2 performances at 10 a.m. and 11:15. For more information, call the box office at 301-277-1710.
And that wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks for joining us.
See you tomorrow night. Good night.